I mocked monogamy as insecurity. Now he's with someone else and I have no right to be angry. The city lights blurred through the rain-streaked window of the taxi, each streak a reminder of promises washed away. I sat in the back seat, fingers clenched around my phone, refreshing his Instagram story for the third time in 5 minutes. There he was, Liam, smiling that quiet, genuine smile I used to claim as mine. His arm around a woman whose laugh I could almost hear through the silent screen. Her name was Maya. She looked kind. She looked permanent. My name is Sophia, and for years I wore my disdain for monogamy like designer armor. Marriage is just legalized insecurity, I would declare at dinner parties, wine glass tilted just so, voice carrying the confidence of someone who had never truly been tested. Friends nodded, some laughed, others shifted uncomfortably. Liam never argued. He would just look at me with those steady hazel eyes and say softly, "If it makes you feel secure, soft, then it's not insecurity, it's love." I mocked that too. Called it codependency dressed in romance. Told him open relationships were evolved, modern, honest. Why should one person be enough forever? I asked, as if the question itself proved my intellectual superiority. He listened, always listened, never raised his voice. When I suggested we try non-monogamy, he didn't storm out. He simply asked, "Are you asking because you want other people? Or because you're afraid I'll want someone else someday?" I laughed. Laughed like the question was absurd. Both maybe. But mostly because I refused to be owned. He nodded once. "Then let's be honest about what we both want." So we opened the relationship. At first it felt liberating. Late nights with intriguing strangers, stories I could tell myself were adventures rather than betrayals. Liam tried to, tentatively at first. He went on a few dates, came home quieter each time. I teased him about being too traditional, about needing to loosen up. He smiled that patient smile and said he was figuring it out. I didn't notice when he stopped going on dates. Didn't notice when his phone stayed face down more often. I was too busy chasing the high of new attention, new bodies, new proofs that I was desirable beyond one man's gaze. Then came the night he sat me down. "I've met someone," he said. No anger, no accusation, just fact. I blinked. "Okay. That's allowed." We agreed. "I love her, Sophia." The words landed like a slap made of velvet. Soft but stinging. "You can't love her," I heard myself say. We said we could see other people. We never said we couldn't fall in love. I stared at him, waiting for the punchline, the part where he admitted it was hypothetical, a way to make me jealous enough to close things again. But his eyes were calm, resolved. "I'm moving out next week," he continued. "I've already found a place. I didn't want to blindside you." I felt the floor tilt. "You're leaving me?" "For her. I'm leaving the version of us that only worked for you." The silence stretched until it hurt. "You said monogamy was insecurity," he reminded me gently. "You said if I truly loved you, I wouldn't need to lock you down. So I let you go. I let you be free. And in that freedom, I found someone who wants the same things I do. Someone who looks at me and sees forever, not an option." I wanted to scream that he was being dramatic, that he was punishing me, that this was just his ego bruised. But the words died in my throat because deep down I knew he wasn't punishing me. He was choosing himself. Finally, he left quietly, no slammed doors, no ultimatums. Just a suitcase and a key left on the kitchen counter with a post-it that read, "Take care of yourself, sophomore. You deserve someone who wants only you." The apartment felt too large after he was gone. The silence accused me every time I walked past the empty side of the closet, the missing toothbrush, the half-empty bookshelf where his history volumes used to stand beside my design magazines. I tried dating again, openly, proudly non-monogamous still. But every new face felt hollow. Every kiss tasted like apology. I kept waiting for the thrill to return, for the validation to fill the hole he'd left. It never did. Months later I saw them at a cafe I used to love. Liam and Maya. She was laughing at something he'd said, her hand resting naturally on his wrist. He looked lighter, younger, like a man who had finally exhaled after holding his breath for years. Our eyes met across the room. He gave me the smallest nod. Not cruel, not triumphant, just acknowledgement. Then he turned back to her, and the way he looked at her. God, the way he looked at her was the way I'd always secretly hoped someone would look at me. I left before they noticed the tears. Now the nights are long. I lie awake cataloging every flippant comment I made about commitment. Every time I dismissed his desire for exclusivity as weakness. I remember the way he used to reach for me in his sleep, instinctive, trusting. I remember telling him that instinct was suffocating. I was wrong. Not about non-monogamy itself, some people make it work beautifully. I was wrong about weaponizing philosophy to avoid vulnerability. Wrong about believing that keeping options open made me strong. It didn't. It made me terrified. And now he's happy. Truly happy. With someone else. Someone who didn't mock his longing for one heart to call home. I have no right to be angry. No right to feel betrayed. I drew the map that led him away from me. I handed him the compass and told him north was wherever he wanted. Except toward me. So I sit in the dark, phone dark too. No more refreshing stories. Just the echo of my own voice saying, I don't need forever. Until the lie became prophecy. Sometimes I whisper to the empty room. I'm sorry. But apologies don't travel backward in time. They just keep you company while regret teaches you what love actually costs.